A year ago, I sat at this table and read out every line of what it costs us to run this house. I said I'd do it again this year so we could see what moved. So here it is, line by line, and I'm not going to soften any of it. The short version, and then we'll go through the whole thing properly. Our monthly costs went up by about $150. That's $1,800 over the year, which is right around 6%. And here's the part that stopped me. Social Security went up 2.8% this year. Our bills went up 6%, so the raise didn't cover it, and it wasn't especially close. I'm Elaine. Spend where it matters, save where it doesn't. Before I read out a single number, I want to be honest about what I'm not paying, because a budget video that hides the advantages isn't worth watching. We don't have a mortgage. The house is paid for. That is the single largest reason our numbers look the way they do, and there's no clever tip behind it. We bought a modest house a long time ago and stayed in it. If you're paying rent or still carrying a mortgage, your number is going to be several $100s a month higher than mine no matter how carefully you shop. And none of what follows should make you feel like you've done something wrong. We also don't have a car payment. One vehicle, 12 years old, paid off, and I intend to keep it until it stops. A car has never been a piece of jewelry to me. It's a way to get to the store. So bear that in mind through all of this. What's useful here isn't my total, it's which direction each line moved, and why, because that part is happening in your house too. Let's start with the house itself. Property taxes. Last year we paid $2,616, which comes to $218 a month if you spread it out. This year it's $2,760 or $230 a month, so that's $12 a month more. I'd rather pay it monthly into a savings account than be handed a bill twice a year and go looking for the money, which is what I did for about the first decade of our marriage and do not recommend. Homeowners insurance. Last year, $1,428, which is $119 a month. This year, $1,548 or $129, $10 a month more. And I want to spend a moment here because this is the line that's been quietly hurting people. Nationally, home insurance premiums went up about 12% last year, and they're forecast to rise again this year. Since 2021, they've climbed roughly 46%. That's about 3 times inflation. If your homeowner's bill feels like it's gotten away from you, it isn't your imagination, and it isn't anything you did. Here's the useful part, though. This year, a few carriers have actually filed rate decreases trying to win back customers they lost, which means this is a better year than the last 4 to get fresh quotes. Companies almost never give their existing customers their best price. They give it to new ones. So call or have an independent agent run 3 quotes and do it before your renewal rather than after. The third housing line is one that isn't a bill at all, and I include it because leaving it out is how people get into trouble. Home maintenance. I put $150 a month into a separate account for it, up from $125 last year. Nothing bills you for a water heater. It simply dies on a Sunday, and then you need $1,800. So we pay ourselves for it monthly. When the furnace goes, and it will, that money will already be sitting there, and it won't be a crisis. It'll be an errand. If you take one thing from this whole video, let it be that one. A repair you've saved for is an inconvenience. The same repair unsaved for is an emergency. And emergencies are where the credit card comes out. And I do this for more than the house. I sat down one evening and wrote out every expense that arrives once a year or once in a while rather than once a month. The furnace service, the car tires, the dentist, Christmas, the property taxes, which I've already mentioned, new glasses, the vet. Then I added them up, divided by 12, and that's what goes into the account every month. It isn't a clever system and there's no app involved. It's a list on a piece of paper in the kitchen drawer. But it changed the shape of our year completely. There are no bad months anymore. There are just months, and the money for the thing is already sitting there when the thing happens. 35 years of watching other people's departments run out of money in March taught me that, and it works exactly the same at a kitchen table as it does in a school district. Now, utilities, electricity, $109 a month last year, $118 this year, $9 more. Natural gas, which is our heat, averaged out across the year because an Ohio January and an Ohio July are not the same animal. $71 last year, $76 this year, $5 more. I average it deliberately so that February doesn't ambush us. Water and sewer together, $63 a month last year, $68 this year, another $5. Trash and recycling, $25 last year, $27 this year, $2. So that's $21 a month more for utilities. And I'll tell you plainly, I have not found a way to fix that. We already keep the thermostat where a sensible person keeps it, the drafty windows have been dealt with, and I'm not going to sit here in a cold house to save $4. There's a point where frugal turns into miserable, and I'm not interested in crossing it. Internet is the one line that went down, and it went down because I got annoyed. We were paying $75 a month. It's now $70. That's $5 a month less, $60 a year for the exact same service. Here's how that happened. I looked at their website and saw they were advertising the same plan I already had at a lower price to new customers. My plan hadn't changed, my usage hadn't changed. I had simply been sitting there being loyal, which in this industry is a thing they charge you for. So I called and asked to be moved to the advertised price. It took 11 minutes and they said yes. They will not offer it to you. You have to ask. And that's true of your internet, your cell phone, your insurance, and half the other things arriving in your mail. Put a note in your calendar once a year that says call and ask, and treat it as an appointment. Cell phones, we're on one of the low-cost carriers that rents space on the big networks, 2 lines, $50 a month for both, paid a year ahead because that's cheaper. That hasn't changed from last year, and it's the best value in this entire budget. If you're still paying $80 or $90 a line to one of the big 3, and you're mostly at home on your own internet anyway, that's worth an afternoon of your attention. Now we come to healthcare, and this is where the year really happened. There are 2 of us, both on Medicare, so every one of these numbers is doubled, and that matters enormously. The standard Medicare Part B premium this year is $202.90 a month per person. Last year it was $185. That's an increase of $17.90 each, which is a jump of just under 10% in a single year. For the 2 of us, that's $405.80 a month, up from $370. $35.80 more every month before anybody has seen a doctor. The Part B deductible went up too, from $257 to $283. Then our supplement plans, which cover a good deal of what Part B doesn't, those cost us $296 a month for the 2 of us, up from $272, $24 more. And our drug plans, $58 a month between us, up from $52, $6 more. So healthcare alone, before a single copay, is now $759.80 a month. Last year it was $694. That's $66 a month more, which is nearly $800 over the year. Now hold that next to this. The Social Security cost of living increase this year was 2.8%. For the average retired worker, that's about $56 more a month. 2 people, both near average, that's around $112. And 36 of it went straight back out the door to Medicare before it ever reached the account. That's roughly a third of the raise gone on one line. I'm not saying that to alarm anybody, and I'm not blaming anyone in particular. That's simply what the arithmetic is this year, and I think people ought to hear it said plainly instead of being told they must be overspending. There is one piece of protection built into this, and it's worth knowing about. If your Part B premium comes straight out of your Social Security check, by law that premium generally can't go up by more dollars than your cost of living increase gave you. It's called the hold harmless rule. So for somebody with a smaller benefit, the Medicare increase gets capped and they may pay less than the standard amount. It doesn't apply to everybody, and it doesn't apply if you're paying the higher income-related premiums. But if your check looks different from what you expected this January, that may well be why. 2 other things worth knowing while we're here. If your income is modest, there are programs that help pay Medicare premiums, and a great many people who qualify never apply because nobody told them. Ask your local senior center or your state health insurance assistance program. It's free to ask. And check your drug plan every single fall during open enrollment. Plans change what they cover and what they charge every year, and the plan that was perfect for you 2 years ago may not be. That's a free hour that can be worth hundreds. I'm not an insurance agent or a financial advisor. I'm telling you what our bills say and where to go ask questions. Right, the car. Insurance on one vehicle, $112 a month, up from $104, $8 more. And yes, I shopped it. And yes, this was already the best of the 3 quotes I got. Gasoline, $95 a month, down from $105, $10 less, and I'd love to tell you that was skill. It wasn't. We drove a little less and the price came down some. I take it, and I don't count on it. Repairs and tires I fund out of the same kind of savings account as the house, because an old car is going to need something, and pretending otherwise is how people end up financing a repair at 20-something%. Now, groceries. This is the one everybody wants to hear about, and it's the one where I have to admit I lost ground. $560 a month for 2 people. Last year was $520. That's $40 a month more, $480 over the year, and it is the single biggest increase in this entire budget. I want to be honest about that rather than pretending I outsmarted it. I do all the things. I shop the sales and stock up when something we actually eat hits a good price. I keep a price book so I know what a good price even is. I cook nearly everything from scratch. I waste very little. And it still went up $40. Let me explain the price book, since that's the one piece of this that people ask about most, and it's the habit that carried over most directly from my working life. It's a small notebook. On each page is a thing we buy regularly, and underneath it, the price per unit every time I see it. Not the shelf price, the price per pound, per ounce, per roll, whatever makes sense for that item. After a couple of months, you stop guessing. You know that chicken thighs under a certain price is a stock-up price, and above it isn't. You know that the big package at the warehouse store is genuinely cheaper on 3 items and quietly more expensive on 2 others, which is not a thing anybody tells you. If you won't use all of it, the larger package isn't a bargain, and the price book is how you find out which is which. What I've concluded, though, is that the job isn't to beat food inflation. You won't. The job is to make sure that when it goes up $40 and not $140, and that when a good price shows up, you're the person who recognizes it and has room in the freezer. Eating out, $80 a month, unchanged. That's 2 proper meals out, planned and enjoyed, not 4 sad sandwiches bought because we were out and hungry. That's a deliberate line, and it's staying. Then the small things. Streaming, $11 a month, down from $38 last year. That's $27 a month less, over $300 a year, and it's the biggest single saving in this budget. All I did was stop keeping 4 services running at once. Now we subscribe to one, watch what we wanted, cancel it, and move on when there's something else worth watching. Household and everything else, meaning cleaning supplies, toiletries, haircuts, stamps, the small, unglamorous things, $120 a month, up from $110. So let's add it all up. This year, our monthly total is $2,656. Last year, it was $2,506, so $150 a month more, which is $1,800 over the year. The annual figure for 2 people in a paid-off house in Ohio is right around $31,900. And the shape of that increase is worth looking at, because it's not what people expect. Health insurance, $66, groceries, $40, utilities, $21, housing costs, $22. Every one of those is a bill I can't negotiate my way out of. Against that, the things I actually controlled went the other way. Streaming down 27, internet down 5, gas down 10, so about $42 a month of good work against $192 a month of things that simply arrived. That's the honest picture of frugality at 70. You are not making yourself richer. You are slowing down the leak. And slowing down the leak is genuinely worth doing. But it is not the same thing as winning. 3 more things, and then I'll let you go. The first is that these are our numbers, in our county, in our house, with our health. Yours will be different and probably higher. And that's not a failing. Take the direction of travel from this, not the totals. The second is what I'm going to do about next year. 3 things, and I've already put them in the calendar. I'm getting 3 fresh homeowners quotes in the fall, because this is the first year in a while when that might actually go down. I'm reviewing our drug plans during open enrollment instead of letting them roll over, and I'm calling the internet company again in January because they'll have quietly put it back up and I'll want to have that conversation once more. Notice that none of those three is about spending less. They're all about being charged less for the same thing. At our age, that's usually where the real money is, and it costs you nothing but a phone call and a bit of nerve. The third thing is the one I care about most. I've read out a great many numbers today, and I don't want to leave you feeling squeezed. We're fine. We eat well. The house is warm. We see the grandchildren, and there's money set aside for the furnace when it goes. That's a good life, and it's a good life on an ordinary income. The point of counting all of this isn't anxiety. It's the opposite. I know exactly what this house costs to run, so nothing surprises me, and there's tremendous peace in that. Now I'd like to hear from you, and I'd like to hear the real numbers, not the tidy ones. Which line went up the most in your house this year? Did your Social Security increase cover it? And if you found something that actually worked, a call you made or a plan you switched, put it in the comments, because that's worth more to the person reading this than anything I've said today. Thank you for spending this time with me. Spend where it matters. Save where it doesn't.